Hi there, fellow pilgrims on the journey of life. I'm Chris Boersma Smith, and today I'd like to talk to you about forgiveness, a topic very near and dear to my heart. And I'd like to, first of all, quote C.S. Lewis, who said, "Everyone says that forgiveness is a lovely idea until they have something to forgive." Think about that a second. Let me talk first about what forgiveness is and what it isn't, because sometimes we get confused. Forgiveness is for you and your healing, for your wholeness, for your well-being, spiritually, psychologically, and sometimes even physically. It's not for the other person. You are not forgiving in order to do a favor for the person who offended or hurt or insulted you or did whatever else it is that has you still holding some kind of a grudge or having a feeling of ill will toward that person. Forgiveness is for you. It's an act of will and a process. It's a choice. It's not a feeling. You can forgive even when your heart is still upset and hurt. Forgiveness is a choice. It's taking responsibility for how you feel, as opposed to saying the reason you feel the way you do is because of the other person. So when you choose to forgive, when you go through the process of forgiveness, it helps you to then be responsible for your own feelings. It helps you take back your power and stop being a victim. You may have even been victimized. The person you need to forgive may have done something that victimized you, but you don't have to remain in the victim role. You can choose through forgiveness to be responsible for your own feelings, to be responsible for any responsible part you may have had in a relationship that went sour, but it is taking back your power. It brings you peace and understanding in the present rather than continuing to live in the past, reliving whatever it was that upset you before. It's a powerful assertion, in fact, that the past won't continue to rule your life in the present. It makes it easier to live in the present moment. So it's healing and empowering to your body, your mind, your soul, your spirit. And besides that, spiritually, forgiveness is mandatory. We've all prayed the Our Father, and we know it says, "Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us." So if we want to be fully forgiven, we need to also make forgiveness a practice that we do all the time. So forgiveness is about healing and wholeness for you. If you want to feel whole and healed, you will need to forgive. So let me talk about what forgiveness is not. It is not condoning bad behavior, unkindness, or abuse. It's not forgetting that something painful happened in the past. It's not making excuses for the bad behavior. It's not denying or minimizing your hurt, or pretending it didn't happen, or numbing your feelings with alcohol or busyness or whatever else you might use to try to not feel your pain so much or deny your pain. It's not the same thing as reconciling. You can forgive a person who you'll never see again. It's not lowering your defenses. Just because you forgave somebody doesn't mean you have to put up with the same behavior that you put up with in the past. You're not lowering your defenses, you're empowering yourself. And it's definitely not getting an apology or hearing the remorse that you would like to have. You may want to have those, that's perfectly natural, but forgiveness is not getting the apology. So this next quote has been attributed to many different people, from Annie Lamott to Nelson Mandela to I'm not sure whom, but it's a wise quote. It says that forgiving is like drinking rat poison and expecting that the other person will die and you'll be fine. But you're the one who's drinking the rat poison when you refuse to forgive. So there have been a lot of studies on forgiveness and on the healing power of forgiveness. Again, from physical points of view as well as in the other ways. So forgiveness has been shown that people who forgive have less stress, less depression. They have improvements in their cardiovascular systems, especially it lowers the rate of heart attack. They have improvements in their muscular system and their nervous system. And they have less chronic back pain. Those who blame others for their troubles, conversely, have a higher incidence of cancer. Those who have learned to forgive handle severe losses better than those who have never learned to forgive. They've learned a process for how to move on. And that can also help you in your relationships going forward. If you know how to limit the degree to which pain and hurt keep on hurting and giving you pain, if you know how to forgive and move forward, that will make it easier to love and to trust and to be intimate and close with other people. There are also the spiritual benefits of forgiveness. In forgiving, you are imitating Christ. On the cross itself, he said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." He gave his life to forgive sins, and he loves unconditionally. Oh, look at that. Nice big bug flying right in our face. I forgive the bug. It closes the door to bitterness and resentment. These are not fun feelings to have, but more than not being enjoyable, they're also a way that gives the devil a little foothold into your heart. Bitterness and resentment are something that are not really compatible with having the clean, pure heart that we hear about in Psalm 51, for example. Create in me a clean heart, O God. And so we want to get rid of those things, and forgiveness closes the door to them. And to other forms of spiritual bondage, being caught up in anger or in that victimization role and things like that. It opens the door to freedom, to peace, to joy, to understanding. We grow closer to God as our hearts soften, and that all allows for God's forgiveness and abundance to enter into our hearts and become a more regular part of our lives. As if that weren't enough, another benefit of forgiving is letting go of the pain, the hurt, and the bitterness. Being empowered helps you to now start to speak up more for yourself. It helps you to reframe your negative thinking into can-do thinking. It helps you to move forward so you're operating out of love and choice and values and mission rather than out of compulsion and poor habits or obligation. So this all has a positive effect on your relationships. When you're not fearful of being hurt again, when you're not fearful of being alone or betrayed or miserable or identifying as a victim, you have more freedom to be the person you were created to be your authentic self, your true self, and a person who loves and trusts. So I hope that's helped to encourage you about forgiveness, and I will see you next time on the next video when I talk about, what am I talking about next? I'm talking about why, with all of those benefits of forgiveness, why we sometimes don't or can't forgive. So see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.